Alright, what is up? This is SLOplays, and guys, we might actually have some breaking news for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero in regards to Super Saiyan 4 Goku getting a potential reveal. Again, as always, not 100% confirmation. However, this is coming from the voice actor himself, Sean, okay? The guy who voices Goku, at least for the dub. This is really, really important stuff. Let's watch this little interview thing for the cast panel of Dragon Ball that actually happened. Big shout-outs to Creeps for posting this, and Reginald EXE. They were able to find something that might put some of our concerns to rest, okay? This is in regards to whether it's going to be in base game or as DLC for Super Saiyan 4, GT, etc., etc. Again, I'm not confirming 100% if it's going to be either or what the situation is, but we already know they confirmed that Dragon Ball GT. I mean, this is in like the very first interview. I did a video about this yesterday talking about movie stuff, okay? But they also brought up GT in that very first interview that we've gone over like, 4 or 5 times now, where they said that they want to include GT in movies. They want to include everything, okay? However, they were unsure whether it would be in the base or DLC. Again, they probably didn't plan that far ahead, or maybe they're just saying that to not spoil any potential reveals, which I know that sounds silly because in the previous games, Dragon Ball GT and, Super Saiyan 4 and all that stuff, they were in Tenkaichi 3, okay? And, the other Tenkaichi games, they were always present in those games, right? So you would expect them, okay? I think most people expect them to be in this game, okay? But because of how DLC is and how they want to really focus on Z and Dragon Ball Super content, it's not too crazy to believe that, hey, let's push the other stuff aside and save it for DLC so that they can make more money, right? All right, enough of my yapping. Let's go and watch it. It's a 32-second clip. Let's listen.
But the tricky part, and I got to give Damon Mills some credit here because he's been directing me on this last game we've been working on, and keeping track of, I didn't realize that subtly changing the voice for every single form was going to bite me in the ass later. And so keeping track of all that for like Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3, God Mode Red Hair, God Mode, and it's all real subtle different things, And so Damon has just been on top of just keeping all my references, everything in line, going through, making sure everything's right, really nitpicking it. It's a very challenging thing to do, but it's easy to solve as long as you keep vocal references around. But the tricky part, and I got to give Damon Mills some credit.
So one more time, we'll play it.
For Super Saiyan 3, all that for like Super Saiyan 4, all that for like Super Saiyan 4.
I had to do it a couple of times so that you heard it. He said, for like Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan 3, God Mode Red Hair, Blue Hair, all that stuff, okay? So he's listing off a bunch of forms, and, that could be like an or he was just trying to exaggerate that there are a bunch of different Goku forms and stuff. But it is very interesting that, if he's put on the spot like this and he's, subconsciously just bringing up Super Saiyan 4 as the very first form or whatever, it just leads me to believe, and I think most people can agree, that Super Saiyan 4 will be in the game, okay? Now, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards base now, and the same thing with that, video that I talked about, with the movie characters and stuff. I'm leaning a little bit more towards base, at the very least, for Super Saiyan 4, Goku, potentially Vegeta, maybe Gogeta. I don't know. We'll see about that, okay? But, yeah, those transformations, those forms, like the heavy hitters, the popular stuff, okay, being in the base. There, you can always make the other stuff DLC, okay? Like, for example, okay, I'm just going to give you an example. Xenoverse 2, or at least Xenoverse 1, for example, if I'm not mistaken, had Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta as base game content. I think Super 17 might have been base. I could be wrong about that. I can't remember just because it's just been so long. But I think Omega Shenron, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I think Kid Goku GT, Pan, and GT Trunks, I think those were all DLC. You can correct me if I am wrong on that, okay? This is for Xenoverse 1, okay? So what if, for example, Sparking Zero, okay, drops, and it has Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and, I don't know, maybe Omega Shenron, maybe, okay, something like that. Or, like, maybe Super Baby 2, right? Or maybe it's just gonna be Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, and that's it. I would be fine with that if everything else was DLC. Again, I would prefer if everything was in the base, but if they make the other stuff DLC, but they at least give us some, GT stuff, that's always good, right? So again, it could be him just over-exaggerating a bunch of different forms because he's got to voice all the different types of forms, and Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan 3, for example, use, you know, a deeper kind of tone for Goku or whatever, at least for, you know, Sean's version or whatever. So that's what, you know, some people were saying here. And the full interview, if you want to watch it, I'll try to link that down below as well. But shout out to Azura here, says, I think he was just naming off forms to exaggerate, okay? And that's true, okay? That's why we're not 100% confirming it. But, I mean, we already know not just Super Saiyan 4, but GT is going to be in the game, right? So real quick, I do want to go over the list of candidates for just GT in general, okay? Whether it be base game or DLC, okay? Whatever they're choosing to do, we still have 4 months left, y'all. We got a lot of time for reveals to happen. It could be the next trailer they reveal some GT shit, okay? Right? Like, imagine a whole GT-themed trailer. That would be fire. So Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I'm leaning towards those two as being base game over anyone else on this list, okay? Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, again, would love for him to be base, but I feel like he would be more geared towards DLC because he usually is, okay? Now, Xenoverse 2, okay, they took everything that was from Xenoverse 1, that was DLC and everything, and they put that in the base, okay? I'm just using that to just clarify before somebody's like, oh, well, I had Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and all these bitches in the game from the base or whatever. It's like, okay, well, it wasn't like that in the first Xenoverse, right? So, Pan, she could be base, right? But maybe it'll be more towards DLC. I feel like she would be good for base. Like, if we just had Super Saiyan 4, Goku, Vegeta, and Pan. And the reason I bring up Pan and say that, like, she could be base more than, like, anyone else here is just because, you know, this is kind of like the only version of Pan that they usually make playable in the games. I know there's DBS Superhero Pan now, and she, you know, she could be a playable character, maybe as DLC or whatever, which that's going to be part of, like, the first season pass. And that's another thing that is kind of weird, and why I'm saying, like, Super Saiyan 4 Goku at least would be base. If Sean's bringing it up and says, let's just believe him and say that he already recorded voice files, like, legit 100%. Okay, let's just say that, hypothetically. Okay, why would he record all that early and they don't even have GT planned for the first season pass, okay? As far as we know, the first season pass is going to be Superhero Movie and Dragon Ball Daima, okay? So if we're waiting that long and they're just going to have the files there, people are going to data mine that shit fast as fuck, and they're going to, you know, find out, okay, Super Saiyan 4 Goku has all this shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous, okay? I don't think they would wait that long. If they're definitely, I would say, not on a time crunch, but, like, they're hauling ass to get voice files and everything done, why waste your time doing Super Saiyan 4 if it's going to be DLC, like, 2 years later? You know what I mean? I'm just saying that hypothetically, right? Majub, again, I feel like he'd be better for DLC. Again, I'm not saying that I want them as DLC. I'm saying it would make more sense, okay? I want all these motherfuckers to be in the base game, okay? And who knows, maybe they will be, right? I don't know. Yeah, Super Baby, okay? Obviously, Super 17. The rest of these guys, definitely more DLC. Like, Eyes and Nova, I know people love those. There are people out there that love these characters and everything, but I feel like they'd be DLC over anyone on this list, right? Like, I think the heavy hitters are going to be the 3 big bads of GT, which is Baby, Super 17, and Omega Shenron, okay? And then, like, anything else, I guess, would be, you know, DLC in regards to villains and stuff. Now, here's where things get a little bit crazy, right? In the original Tenkaichi games, which this is what I was going based off of, Tenkaichi 3, okay? Maybe there was like 1 or 2 that I left out and I just forgot. Now, GT Trunks, for example, he's in Xenoverse 2, but he's not in Tenkaichi 3. Maybe there was a costume of him and I just don't remember. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I literally don't remember. But it's gonna get crazy with Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, because I mean, at least for Goku, he's got his little kid GT version. So would they do that and have him transform, or would it just be a separate slot of Super Saiyan 4 and then they add Kid Goku GT as DLC? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's why I said it gets kind of crazy. Same thing with Vegeta. Vegeta never had a base GT version in Tenkaichi 3. It was just Super Saiyan 4, but they do label him as Vegeta GT. Majub. He's got Oob, regular Oob, and then he has Majub. I think he has both, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, maybe I'm wrong about that. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like he had both. Baby. Okay, Super Baby has his base version, which is like the GT Vegeta looking one with the white hair and like the... Yeah, you know what I mean? And then there's Super Baby 1, which is like the middle form. And then we have Super Baby 2. And then we have Grade 8 Baby. That's like four slots, okay? Super 17, I think, was standalone. I think everyone else was standalone. I can't remember if Omega had Sin. If he starts off as Sin and can... There's another version that's Omega. I think that they had that shit, but I could be wrong about that. So just think about that. That's even more extra slots. So it's like, my head hurts. But just know, GT is coming. If it's going to be base, if it's going to be DLC, I don't know. But I thought this was interesting. I wanted to talk about it. It's news. That's what we do here on the channel. Y'all let me know your thoughts and opinions. Do you think this confirms Super Saiyan 4? I'm personally not going to say it does, but I'm just saying, again, we're bringing it up. A Super Saiyan 4 Goku update, a GT update. That's what this is, right? All right. Thanks for watching. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe here on the channel, ring my notification bell. I will bring you news as soon as I possibly can, whether we do discussions, speculation, etc., etc. Comment down below other videos you want to recommend to me to cover, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!
This is Broly, and you are watching SLOplays. Make sure to subscribe, or else I'll destroy your entire planet.